Hello, everybody here. It's Reese from the British basketball scene. I just want to take a few moments before this interview to say, please, would you be able to subscribe and like and maybe share this interview around for more British basketball interviews? Now, let's get on to the interview. So I'm joined by the deep range Deadeye himself, Kofi Josephs. Kofi, how are you doing today?
Doing good, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm better now that I'm speaking to you, my guy. So, how have you been? How have you been treating this lockdown so far? How's the lockdown been treating you?
Uh, Lockdown's been cool, It's been really cool, actually. Been a breath of fresh air. I've been getting to chill, rest my body a little bit. Obviously, I've been doing more art, stuff like that, just thinking about other stuff outside of basketball. But yeah, man, it's been quite refreshing. I've enjoyed it. Getting a bit agitated now. I'm ready to start hooping. But other than that, yeah, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, you mentioned that you've been, getting, a bit arts and crafty at the moment. As we can see in the background there, a piece about yourself. You started your BespokeKofi line, which is your Instagram page that showcases all of your amazing artwork that you've done. What sort of got you motivated to do all this artwork? Have you always been like really artsy in your ways?
Yeah, I did art before I started playing basketball. Like that was probably what I was gonna be, an artist. But obviously I did sports alongside my art. I used to swim for like my region. I was like close to like black belt in kung fu. So I did quite a lot of other stuff, and then I found basketball, and I was like, all right, then I was doing all that stuff, and then obviously up to a point of like year 11 in school. Obviously, if you want to really be good at something, you got to choose. So I just decided I quite like basketball. I like basketball a little bit more than doing art because at that point I had it as like GCSEs and I was kind of going to do it at A levels and stuff. And my teachers just trying to kill it for me. With basketball, I could just go out and just do what I wanted. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I used to do it way before basketball, and then throughout my career, I just haven't really had the time. And then I decided from just January 1st, I said to myself, I'm gonna do something. I had a bunch of shoes, jackets, and stuff. I was like, I need to do something with them. So let's just start there. And then I did. And then obviously, about 2, 3 months later, COVID hit, and yeah, I just went crazy.
So you've been also have you been like selling these off to fans, or have you just been offering them to fans? And like, because I saw that you gave some shoes away as well, like that you've been painting like different things for different people. Have you been like selling them off, or have you been like just auctioning them?
Yeah, I've been selling almost everything I made. Really, it's a weird one because nothing was actually for sale. I started making stuff because I wanted to make it, and then some people started reaching out to me. Oh, is that for sale? And I was just like, sure. I mean, if you want it, yeah, you can have it. But then people started asking for like specific stuff, and then I started doing specific like customs and stuff. But other than that, yeah, I just started just selling them. Not everything's for sale, but then I don't want to keep everything either. Do you know what I mean? I quite like making it. I don't really want to keep stuff. So yeah, it's an interesting one.
I mean, if you did keep it all, you'd have a hard time just trying to find your way around, the place you live in, because you'd have just a horde of like loads of artistic things that you've made.
It's crazy already between my art stuff, my shoes, my clothes. It's just too much. Obviously, people said you can't sell everything because you're selling all your originals. And obviously, I thought about one day having maybe a gallery or an exhibition. But I just think I'll just probably just make some stuff for that. I made the originals, so I can always make them again. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I am a little bit of a hoarder as well.
What's the like the thing that you like to hoard the most?
Probably shoes.
Yeah.
No, shoes and clothes. I really like clothes, but I've started trying not to hoard them as much. Obviously, when I'm away, while I'm overseas, I live out of like two suitcases, a duffel bag, and a backpack. So I actually, for like 9, 10 months, I actually don't need all the other stuff. So I donate a lot of stuff to like homeless people that I see driving around, um, or like the Salvation Army. So I've started to do that, but I've still got so much stuff. It's crazy.
So are you quite the shoe connoisseur then?
Kind of. It's a weird one. Like I don't really like the shoes everybody likes. Like when people are raffling for shoes and stuff, like I don't care about that. I like shoes that I like. And now that I can customize shoes, it's even crazier because if I have an idea and I want them, I literally can just go make them, which I've done with quite a lot of my stuff, to be honest, because I like having stuff other people haven't got. So I wonder if this is gonna add to my hoarding of shoes, just because I've got so many ideas, but I'm not sure.
I mean, you mentioned you art arting up your shoes. What's like the design like sort of the inspiration behind your art style?
Uh, I'm not quite sure. I really like graffiti. Like I've always liked graffiti, and I remember trying to do a graffiti project for my final piece at GCSEs, but when all my other classmates were doing like classical or like Renaissance pieces, and I was like, nah, I like street art. And obviously, my teacher wasn't rocking with it at the time, so there was a lot of conflict there. When I'm like, graffiti and street art is art, but obviously, when that's like 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't really like that, especially in the education system. So there was a lot of backlash for that. But yeah, I'd say like graffiti at the base and then just urban art, really. But I find you can find inspiration from anything, from nature, from fashion. Um, New York was a big thing for me because as soon as I went there when I was young, I saw a lot of the trains, the subway trains, and they were just so colorful. And it was kind of like I know they're not supposed to be like that, but then they're tagged, so it just made it super cool. It made me feel like you can fit in anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like you can just do what you want.
Yeah, and you do see like these videos, like the mass amounts of videos that people do so many good like graffiti works, and they don't get taken down because they are good. Like graffiti has turned from this taboo word to now being sort of like yeah, it is now being sort of displayed as an art form, which is it's a good thing that you have this style and honed it into your bespoke Kofi work.
Yeah, that's where street arts come from. Like there was no street art before; it was only graffiti, and they've just kind of made this little subsection called street art, which is graffiti that's acceptable in society. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, because graffiti was really about like going against the system and not being allowed. And street arts, and also the government said, yeah, you can do a piece here on the side of a building. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's quite interesting. But yeah, that's really where a lot of my inspiration comes from.
Have you been influenced by other like mainstream like media outlets? Like, have you been influenced by any like musical situations or movies?
Yeah, music definitely. Like if you look at Chris Brown, he does his own art too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've always believed in being more than an athlete. Like I've never seen myself as just a basketball player. Do you know what I mean? So when you see Chris Brown, who's at the top of what he's doing, then he's like an elite artist too. It's kind of like you can really be what you want. Do you know what I mean? Regardless of what other people think. So yeah, I think Chris Brown probably one of the big things. And then you see guys like Big Sean, Tiger, yeah, them sort of guys. They're really urban. Do you know what I mean? Especially their fashion and their art and stuff. So um, yeah, that was a big. And I really love like geography, like um, like the pyramids in Egypt. But I remember back in the day, there was a clothing brand called Last Kings. It was Chris Brown and Tiger. And they had like a pharaoh on their clothes, and it was just so cool. And I was just like, okay, like I see the crossover. So there can be a crossover in anything, really. Mm.
Yeah, you see crossovers all the time. Like you see more and more like sports athletes and artists develop like a different set of skills, like whether that be like directing or maybe yeah, exactly going into art. And I think that music does definitely play a heavy part in everyone's lives. What sort of music do you kind of get down to, like you know, on the daily, or whether it be like traveling on a bus or something?
Uh, it's I don't even know what genre you'd call it. There's a guy called French Kiwi Juice, FKJ, and it's like really, it's just like instrumentals. It's like loads of different instruments. He's got like the bass guitar, then he's got the other guitar, then he's got the drums, and he's got the piano, and it's just so all over the place, but it's so wavy. It's crazy. Makes me feel good, and I've stopped listening to a lot of negative music now. Like I don't really listen to drill music no more. Some rap I got to be selective because, like, subconsciously it just puts you in a bad mood. Do you know what I mean? And when I'm artistic, usually I just listen to music. I have somewhat of an idea of what I want to do, but I just chill in front of a blank canvas and I just listen to music and then I kind of just go from there, start sketching and then come up with an idea. And if I've got really dark thoughts all the time, then I'm gonna come up with negative. You know what I mean? So and like even when I play, I listen to more aggressive type rap, hip hop type music because I need to be, I'm trying to rip your head off. But other than that, I listen to like a lot of instrumentals where I can just think clearly. Do you know what I mean? I just feel the rhythm rather than someone telling me subconsciously how to feel.
Oh yeah, like I think music does help you, like it does definitely affect like the way that you think. Like if you are, as you say, going into a game, you do want to be, that sort of. I kind of picture DMX, X gonna give it to you type vibes, coming to rip your head off.
I like Jay-Z, 50 sometimes. Who else? Even J. Cole, like he
Mm.
earlier stuff. Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, that kind of, and a lot of UK, 'cause a lot of UK like rap is is hard. Oh, I listen to that, and that gets me right where I need to be.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree with the J Cole and the Jay Z. I love like American hip hop like as much as the next guy. It's like there's something about it, like especially lyrical rappers. I love like J Cole, Kendrick. I'm starting to get into a bit of JID at the moment as well. Like like the stuff that they're doing around like Top Dog and Colwell as well. Like all that sort of aspect of it. It's like the music industry's changing, but you've also got them hidden gems that you just love in the music industry.
So many hidden gems. Like, you know where the real hidden gems are? The real hidden gems are on movies and TV shows where they're changing between like scenes or at the end, they'll just have some song playing and you'll be like, okay, like that's fired. And you rewind it and you're like, yeah, I like that. Shazam. And you're like, who the hell is this? Then you find them and they've got like 3,000 views, but the song is a banger. It's not 2 million streams. Do you know what I mean? But there's some real gems out there. And that's where I think I found the most on like TV shows and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I went through the same, and a few people might judge me here, but I was watching Hamilton, the musical, and there's a guy that plays Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson, and his like just the pace and his lyrics. Oh, I was blown back. I was next to my girlfriend at the time, and I was just like, why haven't you shown me this before? It's great.
Like music's like, there's nothing wrong with liking different genres. Like, you might see me walking through the city centre and think I'm listening to like some gangster rap or whatever. I might be listening to like Beethoven. You know what I mean? Like it's just calm. It's just good music. Do you know what I mean? I can't really speak bad on any other genres. Like there might be some songs in there that I like, some songs that I don't. So really, you just got to be open to anything. I'd say.
I mean, that's kind of like the societal poor stereotype that someone will look at you with your headphones on and be like, "Ugh, I probably don't like the music that that guy's listening to." But I mean, you probably listen to everything that anyone else would listen to.
Yeah. And you know the good thing, I'm not listening to it for anyone else anyway. So I
Yeah,
don't
screw what you want to listen to. I like my stuff. You like your stuff. Let's leave it there.
exactly.
So with your art as well, like what has been like your favorite piece to have done so far?
Oh, that's a tough one, that is. I don't know. Some of the art pieces I've made and sold, I'm probably never going to see again. And then some pieces that I've got, it's tough. I don't actually know because with each piece I get better and better. Do you know what I mean? And
Yes.
the latest one becomes my best piece. But I think maybe that Worcester Wolves Lone Wolf one. I think because for one, it's for my mom, and um, before I was a Worcester Wolf, like I've always obviously I'm my only child in it, so I've been rocking with the Lone Wolf tag for years, way before Worcester, and it was just fitting that I was representing the Wolf Pack. Um, it was just all fitting. Do you know what I mean? And it was something I did for myself that I really enjoyed. The process of making it was fun because I didn't actually have a plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just came out great. So yeah, I'd have to say probably that one.
I mean, the stuff that you have done, I've looked at every single one. I'm like, damn, that one's good. And the one that definitely caught my eye was the Allen Iverson one that you did to celebrate his career, and I think it was like the benchmark of
Yeah,
his
that's right.
debut in the league. Um, we've spoken before about the influence of Allen Iverson. How much does that painting in particular mean to you as well?
AI, that's been my guy from forever. I reckon I don't think I'd be playing basketball if it weren't for him because my mentor gave me a basketball when I was, I think, 11, 10, 11, and I was about to boot it over the wall. I was like, what am I doing with this? I was about to, and then at the time I was young, cane rolls, had a little attitude and stuff, and then he was like, I got somebody I want you to see, and then he showed me. I was watching him. I'm like, oh, okay, like I like his personality. I like his look. We both had cane rolls at the time too. He was small and I was really small at the time. I think I was like 5'5". Like I didn't grow till I was like probably like 16. And I just saw him, I saw his personality and like everything about him. I was like, I'm sort of like that. And at that age, you're looking for a role model, someone to look up to. Do you know what I mean? And it was a little different to like some of the hood role models that I'm seeing in Birmingham because he's in America and obviously everything's glitz and glam over there. And I know for a fact he's at the best, he's like one of the best in the world at what he does. So that's a little bit different to some guys that that are doing well in the city. He's on a different level. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, if it weren't for AI, I probably wouldn't be playing ball or have got started.
Well, AI has had like one of the greatest careers. Like when it comes to trophies as well, he was like very underrated, but he was such a good talent. Like he was brilliant. The stuff that he could do with his ball and his handles as well. Oh,
I think what I respect most about him was his off the court stuff. Like you see me in photo shoots, I've still got my jewelry on. Do you know what I mean? Like AI was one of the first to wear jewelry, wear his earrings in his photo shoot, to go to games dressed how he wanted to be dressed because he was just him. You know what I mean? Like all other hoopers at the time are going in suits and stuff, and he's like, I don't dress like this. This isn't me. I just want to play ball. And I was just like, whether I want to dress like that or not isn't the point. It's more so the freedom to be yourself. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, like he's still like that now, which is what I respect. He is who he is, and he even said in an interview he took an ass whooping by the league so that other players could be who they want to be, which is true. So I respect it.
I mean, those sorts of players are what like fans connect with the most. Like whether it would be their captivating play on the court or whether it be their antics off the court. And I think that AI was definitely one of the most realist guys in any room that he went to and any arena that he went to.
Exactly, like both. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So AI has not only been like a great NBA player, but earlier this year we were unfortunately, given the death of an absolute legend in Kobe Bryant. Did Kobe have a real big impact on you watching basketball as well?
Yeah, that was my other guy. So it's them two. Like I've been a Michael Jordan fan, but the two that really like changed my life really, I'd say, is AI and Kobe. Yeah, like Kobe's mindset and stuff. I think I've taken a lot of that and realized I'm a lot more similar to him than I thought, which is crazy because him and AI are kind of different, but they're kind of the same. Do you know what I mean? Um, just like the seriousness, like when I say I want to do something, I'm gonna do it um, by any means. And Kobe doesn't really care what people think of him either. Like he is what he is, and he is who he is. Do you know what I mean? I've always respected that, like to a crazy level. Um, yeah, like his work ethic, his like another thing. Kobe off the court is crazy because we always thought that he was basketball only, like didn't care about his family, didn't care about friends, didn't care about anything. But at 21, he started thinking about what he wanted to do post basketball, and that's why he was writing stories and then won an Oscar. Do you know what I mean? Like he's another guy that's like you can be more than an athlete. Way before it was cool. He was like, I'm focused and I am what I am and I've got other interests. But when I'm focused on something, I'm focused. When I'm doing something else, I'm focused. So I've kind of taken that approach with a lot of things that I do. So yeah, Kobe's a huge inspiration.
I mean, the Mamba mentality is kind of like the focusing on multiple things at the same time and doing and excelling at that, which is kind of what you're doing as well. I mean, not only are you great on the court, but you've got your artistry side that you've also been excelling in as well. So that's definitely something that you two have in comparison, that kind of Mamba mentality.
Yeah, definitely. Like I've been trying to live by it. Like it's tough. It's tough. That's why I got tatted on my arm when he passed. Just a little reminder because I mean what anytime I'm feeling down or unmotivated or tired and stuff, I watch his videos and I'm just like, okay. Like he's always like, just don't quit. You can be tired, you can be whatever, but you got a plan, stick to it. I've always tried to stick with that, and especially off the court because it's so much easier when it's on the court when you get in the rewards. But with something that you're like new to off the court, it's hard and not caring because it's real easy to make an art piece and then want to stop because you're like, I don't know if people are gonna like it. Do you know what I mean? But I don't. Kobe doesn't care. He's just like, I will just do it. If you like my short stories or not, I'm gonna do it and then I'm gonna get better. Because I'm pretty sure his first story, the basketball, wasn't great at first. Then he kept sticking with it, and then everyone loves it, and it's an Oscar. Do you know what I mean? So I've kind of stuck with that. With just kind of anything I do in life, it's easier with basketball because that's what I do. But I've been doing that for almost 20 years, so it's gonna be easy. It's the stuff that I've been doing for 2 months that's hard. Do you know what I mean? When you haven't got the confidence, you haven't got the background in it yet. But yeah, that Mamba mentality, I've just tried to live with.
I mean, the tattoos on your arm, definitely, it's something to the messages that you live by. What have been some of the inspiration behind some of your most like the influence tattoos that you have?
Uh, I've got paw prints, and in Arabic it says lone wolf. Obviously, my only child, and I told you before, Worcester is kind of my identity. I've got me standing next to a wolf, looking out over the lake, um, with a starry sky, just looking out towards the future, just being peaceful. Do you know what I mean? Just no distractions, no city, just being at peace. Obviously, I've got be you, be inspirational, which is obviously something I live by. I've got the Mamba mentality. I've got Pharaoh and the pyramids because I'm obsessed with that. I feel like we're all kings and queens. Um, I've got music notes and I've got a dirty diamond, which just means diamond in the rough because I'm from, probably not the best in a city place, but we can still make it. Yeah, and I got music notes because I used to play music, which was a big thing for me, and that's another thing that I gave up to play basketball. So, um, yeah, and obviously I've got wings because, like I'm obsessed with flying and like reach for the stars and all that. And then I've got faith, determination, and perseverance, which is just something that I have to live by, like because of like my hip stuff and all of that. like just to keep going, I just needed a reminder. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some of my key ones, and then I've got blessed because obviously it's easy to, when things are going well, it's easy to think that everything's going well because of you, and then when things are going bad, it's easy to forget how well things have gone. Do you know what I mean? And your hard work. So being blessed just reminds me that, you know, that's what I am.
And getting these, that inked on your body forever, and so the messages that you will carry on with you to like keep up the determination. And like as you say, like the last 2 months might not have been the easiest work that you've done. The basketball has been sort of the easiest work you've done, as you say, for the last 20 years. Whereas this new art style, you sort of got to try and continue to grow. And it's kind of just like playing basketball. You got to keep at it, keep at it, keep at it, keep putting up shots, and eventually you're going to get to that point. Do you think that you will get to a point where you can get like a bespoke gallery, or maybe even like your own clothing line that has the style of your artwork?
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like I always dream big, and because of basketball, I've always never thought anything was impossible. And like for me, if I wanted a clothing brand, I see things so simple where it's like I don't need to have a clothing brand in JD. If I want, I can just pay and get clothes made. Do you know what I mean? That's what I did with shoes. Nike didn't decide to make my own shoe. I was like, you know, I'm gonna paint my own shoe how I like. You've got to dream big, but you got to think of simple steps. Do you know what I mean? And like that's what I do with my artwork, and then people are buying them from all over the world. Like some of the countries, people are hitting me up to buy stuff. I'm like, what? How did you even see it? But cool. Do you know what I mean? So like 7 months ago, I probably would have thought no one would like anything, and I'm just doing it for me. So yeah, like the art stuff is really just an escape from the basketball. To be honest, it's just something for me to feel free. I can be creative. I can do it when I like, how I like, and I don't have to answer to anybody. So yeah, I'd love to have a gallery one day or an exhibition. I'd love to. I've, I'm obsessed with the Art Basel in Miami, and I know people that are involved in it. So yeah, why not? Do you know what I mean? Why not?
Why not I? There's like you're another one of your monikers type thing. And how is that going? I've seen that you've been interviewing and doing stuff on your YouTube as well, which the link to that will be in the description down below. So how has it been running that?
That's been amazing. The art is kind of a subsection of that. Anything I do outside of basketball, even a basketball, even me as my career, it's kind of a testament to why not I? Because where I'm from, I didn't know anyone that played basketball. No one in my family's ever played basketball. I'm the tallest person in my family. Do you know what I mean? So when I started, I was 5'5", 5'4". Like everyone was telling me, you can't be a basketball player. You're too small, too skinny, blah blah blah. If I would have believed them, they probably would have been right. Do you know what I mean? So why not I is kind of something that I live by, and it's a mental health business that's gonna hopefully change the world and change young people's lives. And yeah, I'm just getting started with that. It's for something post basketball. Obviously, if I can do stuff while I'm still playing, even better. But yeah, it's definitely something that I want to do post basketball that I feel is going to really help change a lot of people's lives.
Well, I've seen the work that you've done. At the moment, it does seem like you are really starting to be like, yeah, I do have a life after basketball. Whereas some guys might not necessarily aim to do that. I mean, you're not even, near the end of your career yet, so it's kind of like you're starting early, which is kind of a good thing.
That's because of Kobe, because I remember seeing him, he was like 30 something. He was like, yeah, I started looking at post basketball stuff when I was 21. I was like, what? And a lot of athletes can be entrepreneurs because the way we think isn't regular. Do you know what I mean? And that's something else that's new to me. Like I've never been an entrepreneur before, so it's kind of like walking in the dark, figuring out your steps. But I think it's going to really pay off. And obviously, when you're doing it for the right reasons, you can't really go wrong. So yeah, like I'm really excited about some of the ideas I've got, and the fact that it's my thing. Any crazy idea I have, no one can tell me I can't do it. Do you know what I mean? I don't belong to anyone. I can do what I want. So that gives me like creative freedom to really help the world and like help myself really. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, we all look forward to seeing what you can produce in the future as well. And earlier, when we were talking about Kobe and Allen Iverson, you mentioned the rewards that are on the court. That they can be bittersweet, but sometimes the stuff off the court is what makes it. However, you have recently had a reward on the court back in January, winning the BBL Cup final in your hometown or home city, sorry, of Birmingham. What did that mean to you? Like going into somewhere where you've grown up the entirety of your life and coming out with a medal and some silverware.
It was crazy, you know. It was crazy because before I came to Worcester, I wasn't sure if I wanted to play in the UK or not, and I'd always thought it'd be super cool to play at home and win. Obviously, we don't have a team, and of the of the three like championships, you've got Glasgow, you've got O2 in London, and then you've got Brum.
Yeah.
Obviously, the other two are cool, but they're just another game for me. Do you know what I mean? I'm not from those cities, so it's whatever. Yeah, it's good to win, but to play in a final in my city, where not only it's not like we're a club team and just local fans, like the whole country is watching in Birmingham. So for me to be a Birmingham kid, play here, gone through all my trials and tribulations all over the world to then come back and win a championship here, it's kind of crazy. And before I signed, I was talking to my agent and I win that one. Obviously, we want to win everything, but if I can only win one, I want it to be that one in Birmingham. Do you know what I mean? Where my family and friends can see me play, because a lot of them haven't seen me play in years. So yeah, it was surreal. It was surreal. I kind of felt nervous, but I kind of felt comfortable as well, because I was like, I've anyone here, I'm from here. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and as I said before, we have spoken before, and you mentioned like being a mascot in one of the games that was held. I don't know if it was in that arena, but it was in a game in Birmingham. So it kind of was like a full circle kind of moment for you from being a mascot there and now playing in probably one of the biggest games of your career.
Yeah, it's crazy because the Harlem Globetrotters used to come. I think I did it twice. I was like their little mascot. I had to like shoot a basketball with them and all that stuff. So I did that. And then at the actual BBL finals, I can't remember how old I was, but you get one of the kids from the crowd to come down, and you've got to run. But I put on like the shoes, the shorts, the shirt, like put the Buster games. I did all of that, and then I missed the shot.
Oh,
Screwing, and I lost. You only got one shot back then. Yeah, I was gutted. I was gutted because I've been telling the guy that I wanted to do it for how long, so long, and then I missed. So for me to be able to do that and win, and I think my free throws might have been the last points we scored in the game. So it just felt like full circle, because it was a free throw line jump shot that I missed. So it was just kind of surreal overall, but yeah, amazing.
same spot, same mentality. Oh, different mentality. As a kid, you kind of like, yeah, I'm bummed out, but this time you're focused. You're laser focused. You've got to do this. You've got to win, and I think that's something that you've kind of had that throughout your career as well.
Yeah, definitely. I've had to change my focus, because obviously when you get older, a lot of stuff happens to you, good or bad. So really, when you have a little bit of a more mature mindset, with some of the stuff I've been through in terms of like my hip surgeries and almost quitting basketball and stuff, you appreciate it a little bit different. Do you know what I mean? And to reach a situation like that, you don't just end up at a finals. Like we had to go through two of the most winningest clubs in BBL history. Do you know what I mean? We had to go through Leicester, home and away, and we had to go through Newcastle. So, and then we ended up playing in Bristol for like the 18th time. But, I mean, last time we played and we lost, so like we really had to battle to get there. So it was a testament to what the guys have been through, testament to coach, testament to what I've been through that season and all my other years. Yeah, it was just great.
Yeah, and watching live of that game, I was rooting for you guys all the way. It was amazing to see the emotion off the court afterwards as well. Like, I was talking to Julius. I was like, oh, did Coach Matt get Gatorade at the end of the game? But I mean, that would have been a great moment to see. But what was the celebrations like after the game?
It was good. It was a bit crazy because we won, and then obviously we did so much with the fans. And then we didn't really have that much time together in the locker room because everyone was everywhere doing interviews, blah, blah, blah. And then once we were together, obviously everyone's checking their phones. Then we saw the Kobe Bryant stuff. So it was kind of like, are you serious? Do you know what I mean? It was like a high to like the biggest low. It was crazy. It was crazy. So it was an up and down day. Like celebrations kind of got cut short because obviously Kobe meant so much to so many hoopers. It's hard to be happy at that time. Do you know what I mean? That's what I felt for me anyway. So yeah, it was kind of a bummer of a day. I was happy we won because if anything, Kobe would have been like, at the least, don't go out and lose the championship on when I die. Do you know what I mean? You better go and get a win. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was kind of good that we kind of got it for him.
I mean, yeah, you could definitely like say that game was for Kobe and kind of been like, yeah, we went out there and we did our thing. We exemplified the Mamba mentality, and that's probably what the entirety of the Wolves team this year kind of did. Prematurely ending the season, which was quite the shame because I would have loved to have seen how far this team would have gone. I mean, you were actually one of the older players on the team, and even still, you're not actually that old. So, like the young core of players that this team had was astounding to see what they could build, and it was amazing to see that they were going to such heights. Did you think you could go all the way in the playoffs?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I thought we was going to win the whole thing, to be honest. I've never walked into a game thinking we're going to lose. Like, that's just like, in my head, you've already lost if you think that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, obviously there's a lot of tough teams. Glasgow were tough. Lions were tough. Leicester were tough. Newcastle were tough. Bristol was tough. I mean, regardless of how many times we beat them, they were always tough. So, and in the playoffs, you never know what can happen. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I thought we had a pretty good chance. I'd put us up there, and I didn't think we was going to lose. Obviously, then you just got to go out and prove it. We did that before. No one thought we could have went all the way to January, and people probably didn't think that we could do it for the O2. But the thing that was a little bit different for the O2 finals was because of what we'd already done. A lot of people thinking different now. They're like, Worcester have a chance. Do you know what I mean? Because we'd already proven, regardless of your negativity, we can do it. So that was a little bit different. And I think we had a little bit of confidence going into it now that we know we could beat anyone. And we're the only team that had swept London Lions. So when you've already beaten a team before, it kind of helps. Obviously, Glasgow would have been an issue. All the teams would have been an issue, but at least we've got a little bit of confidence in the back.
Yeah, and I think the fans didn't have a lot of faith in the team. First of all, because of what they saw the season prior, and that season was a huge disappointment.
Mm-hmm. Shambles.
Yeah,
The year before us was unbelievable. And they shouldn't have been that bad because of the players they had. But I mean, we came and we did what we were supposed to. Do you know what I mean? We redeemed the club and yeah, won a championship. So hopefully we can forget about that and hopefully Vista's on the up from what we did now.
I mean, sometimes you got to take a step back to go forward, and this was a gigantic leap forward. You leading the team, and your amazing 3-point shot, I think, is something that the Worcester Wolves fans will probably never forget. The amount of range that you can get on a shot. How did you end up getting to that point?
I don't actually know. I just like to shoot. I really enjoy shooting. Like that's always been my thing. Obviously, I've been an only child from young, so I get a ball and I go to the park and I'd be by myself. So I've got no one to play against until some of my friends started wanting to play basketball and stuff. And obviously in Birmingham, you can't really be going to other areas like that when you're not from there. So I used to just play by myself. And obviously everyone used to play football and I weren't really on that. So I just go play basketball by myself. And all you can really do, to be honest, is shoot, especially when you're 5'5". Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I've always loved to shoot. And then everyone was always bigger than me, so I couldn't really always go to the basket like that. So I'd shoot from further out, and then as I got bigger and stronger, I just kept shooting. I got stronger, and then yeah, I just kept with it. And a lot of the shots people see me shoot from that far out, if you come to a home game, I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours before, you'll see me and Felix, the assistant coach, practicing that. In actual practice, I practice that. I don't just out of nowhere, I just decide to shoot from super far out. Like, I actually practice that. That's why sometimes I have a higher success rate than some others.
You just got to get starting hot, get that hot hand working, and then eventually you take over the game.
That's how it's gone sometimes, yeah, I guess.
So I mean, being on the road like constantly and playing games, training constantly, it can kind of burn you out a bit. But what was the feeling when the BBL like season ended? Like, were you kind of relieved, or like were you like, oh, okay, this is an opportunity to do some of this stuff that I've been planning, but do it early?
Well, I don't know. It's a weird one because I love playing basketball. I do, but I love doing other stuff as well. Do you know what I mean? So, and it add the fact that we'd already won a championship, so and that championship counted. So it's not like we're leaving empty-handed. Like, we came here, we've done the first step of the job. We didn't finish the rest of the job, but that's out of our control. So, and because there's nothing you can really do about it, you kind of got to accept it. I had loads of other stuff to do. Do you know what I mean? So I wasn't really that basketball for years now anyway. So it was fine. Yeah, I wanted to beat London. I wanted to beat Glasgow. I wanted to beat Newcastle. I wanted to beat Riders. Do you know what I mean? Like, I enjoy beating other teams, but we've already won a championship, and it's a little bit weird because we don't know what would have happened. So that chapter's kind of, who knows? Like, every club talking about, yeah, I think we would have won it. We don't know. So it would have been good to actually see, but yeah, getting a rest, getting some time to refocus and reassess life and things that are actually important. Like, basketball's important and stuff, but people are out here dying. Do you know what I mean? So, like, put some stuff into perspective, and yeah, I got to crack on with some of my artwork, which who knows when I would have ever done it like properly as much as I have.
Yeah, and as you say, people are in danger at the moment. This pandemic has taken the world by storm, and something that might surprise people is that the NBA over in America has decided to restart. What are your thoughts on the NBA restart?
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
If that's what they want to do, then that's what they want to do. Like, as long as everything's safe, then why not? The NBA doesn't need fans to be there. A lot of people watch basketball on TV anyway, so you can watch it on the safety of your home. Then I don't see what people are complaining about. Yeah, you can't go to the arena. If you want to go to the arena so badly, they're going to not have any games. So would you rather watch basketball from your home and have it, or not have it at all, which you're going to complain about? So if the players are good to play and everyone's safe, then I don't see a problem with it. To be honest, I'll definitely be watching.
Yeah, as you say, I think a lot of people that are missing basketball at the moment are going to be watching these games and making sure that they catch it, especially if they make it easily accessible for people. Have you been able to get a look inside the NBA bubble at the moment?
Yeah, I've watched. I think his name's Matthias Tubble or something like that. I've watched his.
Yeah.
I watched JaVale McGee's, both of their YouTube channels. Um, yeah, and I've just saw like highlights and stuff of them working out. It looks so cool. Like, to be honest, to me, it looks like when we're with like England or GB, where there's nobody around. You're in a hotel, you get your food, you eat together and stuff, and you play ball at the facilities. You don't really do anything else when you're with like national team, not really. So it kind of looks like that, and obviously it's summertime, so yeah, like it just seems pretty cool. Obviously, the odd time where they're in like the hazmat suits or whatever, and they're getting swabs and stuff, that's a little bit different. But other than that, It just looks like national team camp to me.
Definitely, and as you mentioned, JaVale McGee, I've been catching up with his vlogs and what he's been getting up to, and it does seem quite intense, especially when they got there, the 48-hour quarantine and everything like that. I've been thinking about this. What if like multiple players on a couple teams get this, and then they figure out that they've been training with this virus. What then happens to that team in that situation?
I have no idea. That's what the medical experts are for. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're paid a lot of money, especially on that level, to know these things. Do you know what I mean? To run all the possible tests, possibilities, all that stuff. So I don't actually know. If too many players get it, then I can assume that they'll probably shut it down, which would be a shame because all the time and money. Who knows? But can only hope for the best, really. And at some point, the world has to get back together because we've got stuff out there like HIV, cancer, the flu. Do you know what I mean? People are dying daily anyway. Do you know what I mean? And the world hasn't stopped. So obviously, there's a vaccine for the flu, and obviously, there's stuff going on about herd immunity and stuff. But hopefully, they find a vaccine soon, and we won't have to worry about that.
Yeah, they're saying that they're only going to make a vaccine. I think it was like 2021 is like the earliest. So if we can hold off until then, hopefully. I mean, Boris Johnson's came out recently and said that we might have stadiums full of fans back like in about October time, I think, which could mean well for the BBL restart as well.
Sports stuff is not. I doubt he's talking about the BBL. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh
I
yeah,
doubt he's talking about basketball. I'm definitely talking about football because saw how quick they were to get that back up and running. Yeah, just the sports that really make money. Hopefully though would be good. Some fans are better than no fans. So obviously it depends on each club and the money wise of determining how many fans can be there and how it be financially possible for them and to keep people safe. So see what happens. Hopefully.
I think a ticket limitation would probably be best. Like the University of Worcester Arena, for example, can seat 2,000 people. Maybe letting in 1,000 people and limiting it to 2 people per household, and grouping that group together, skipping a seat, and then having the distance between each fan. You still get the fans there, you still get the atmosphere, and it works out because the team's also making money.
Yeah, definitely. That would be a good idea. We'll have to see, really. We'll have to
Yeah.
see how it's up to you. But that's the thing. Every club's different. And they're like stadiums, arenas are different. So it depends on how it would work across everyone.
Yeah. And speaking of the pandemic, obviously people are being made to wear face masks. Have you had any ideas to make any bespoke Kofi face masks?
I haven't, I haven't. Now that you've said that, I'm thinking, why haven't I? I'm not really one to go with trends. Like, I don't really care about trends like that. Like, I saw so many artists do stuff like when Pop Smoke died, people were creating Pop Smoke stuff, and Kobe, like people were creating Kobe stuff. Like, I get it, but I just don't care to jump on a wave to benefit off someone's death. Do you know what I mean, or something like that? I'd just rather, especially if it's affected me, I'd rather just step back and just analyze it for myself. But yeah, I mean, it's also helping people also like doing the artwork or doing a mask and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't really see myself as just an artist, so I'm not looking for any loopholes or any alleys to I can just jump in and just slot what I've got. Yeah, I don't really care like that. Would be smart though. Would be
As I say, if you're a businessman, I'd be hopping on that. But again, it's kind of what you enjoy rather than what you actually should do or what you think is the best business decision. It is it's a hobby at the end of the day. It's a hobby that you enjoy doing away from basketball, something to take your mind away from it.
That's the thing. When I first started it, I had to tell myself you're doing this because you enjoy it, because it's fun for you. If people buy it or not, you need to remember you're making stuff because it gives you a good feeling. So don't get frustrated if people don't like it. As long as you like it, that's all that matters. If people don't want to buy it or do want to buy it, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. So capitalizing on making it a business, I've really tried not to do, because business isn't always fun. Do you know what I mean? Which I've found in certain so much stuff, even with like basketball. So I'm just like, you know what? This is mine. This is my thing where I can escape to. I can just do it and I can feel peace. So yeah, I've tried to keep that.
And some recent work that you have showcased on your Instagram that you've been doing is, the Birmingham mascot for 2022. Talk just a little bit about the work that you're doing with them.
Yeah, I'm part of Birmingham Commonwealth like situation. We've done the virtual mascot summit. So if you're between the ages of 5 and 15, I think yeah, it's live now, or it's about to be live. Kids can come up with their ideas, because obviously we've got the Welby. Right. Yeah, he was at Commonwealth Games in the Gold Coast in Australia. Obviously, he's a koala, which is to do with Australia. So we want to come up with something that's about Birmingham, shows the diversity, the culture, the spirit, and we want Birmingham to be a part of the mascot. Do you know what I mean? Not somebody from Wales, or I don't even know where, that comes up with it of what they think Birmingham is. Us people that live here, do you know what I mean? We know, and around in the surrounding areas, what Birmingham is, and it's more so about us showing the world our home. So yeah, and we want the young people to be involved in that, because it's more of a community feel.
I mean, going along with the Gold Coast theme of a koala, surely with the massive ball outside the ball ring, you definitely have to get on that kind of situation with the ball.
Yeah, that's what I will do, because people from all over the country, they know like the bull. That's drum. You know what I mean? So, but it's really down to the kids and the design committee and what they come up with. But I'm pretty confident they'll come up with something cool, because Birmingham's known for its art, especially up at Big Brook and stuff.
Yeah.
So confident.
Yeah, and have you got any like projects that I mean, you wouldn't mind sharing with anyone that you're currently working on, or if you've got something planned that you really passionate about?
Uh, Not really. I'm getting more stuff out of Why Not I. Doing a lot more Why Not I stuff now. Clothing, shoes, stuff like that, just to promote that mental health is cool. Do you know what I mean? Like when people think about mental health, automatically it's anxiety, depression, suicide, but it's not. Like when you're happy, that's a part of mental health. It's just the other side of mental health. Do you know what I mean? When you're excited, all that stuff, all the positive stuff, it's the other side of mental health. So just trying to create a connection that mental health can also be good. And if you are having bad mental health, then we can move you over to the good side. Do you know what I mean? It just takes time, takes a process. So just trying to show, especially the young urban community, that mental health can be cool. Anything can be cool if you think about it the right way. So yeah, just doing a lot more stuff with that fashion wise right now.
Yeah, and I think that's a great project to focus on with mental health. A lot of people are struggling in these tough times. I know that everyone individually has their individual spurs of you're down a bit, but there are loads of other things that you can do to enjoy stuff and have that little bit of happiness left. And I think the Why Not I stuff that you were doing is amazing. Like I said, the Why Not I pages and the Bespoke Kofi will be in the description and on the screen at the moment, so you can check that out if you would like to. I would really recommend it. To be fair, it's great work.
Appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. Small steps, small steps. Obviously, it's like me walking in the dark, because I've been a basketball player forever. So being an entrepreneur, I wanted to do it right. You want to do it properly. Do you know what I mean? So small steps, and yeah, we'll get there eventually. And I'm really excited of what's to come.
Have you got like a final, like not final message, but like anything that you want to like shout out, or any other projects that certain other people might be doing that you're very fond of?
Um, Other projects. My friends got snatched by Low. That's my friends up in Manchester. So it's like and it's Mumbad. It's kind of about fitness, but it's also about mental health for women and like supporting them. and fitness, which is a cool thing because obviously with lockdown, got no gym, so it's like home workouts by social media, and they're all like a community. So the women and people, they all talk and they get along, talk about what's going on and stuff. So that's really cool. I got my friend Jarrell. He's doing voodoo drinks. You know, you might know Jarrell Coro. He used to play for Manchester Giants and London Lions. He's got a green tea, which is really healthy, but it tastes nice though. I don't even like green tea, but some of the flavors are fire. So you've got that, and he's also got Voodoo Cuts, which is a barbershop by appointment, which is in Manchester, which is really cool. So I'd say checking them two out.
Yeah. Descriptions to both of those will be in the description down below as well. And one final question: what would you say if 10-year-old Kofi was plopped right in front of you? What key advice would you give him for him to carry through life?
Oh, no, 10 years old. He was a little nutter. He was butter, full of promise and excitement. Hadn't been battered by the world yet. I would say stick with it. Stick with it. Like, you're gonna go through so many challenges and stuff that you thought would never happen. Stick with it. Believe in yourself. Believe in your plan. Believe in your mission. Yeah, it's all gonna work out. It's all gonna work out. Yeah, and stay being a dreamer, I'd say. Because the amount of people that told me I weren't gonna ever play for England, weren't gonna play for GB, wasn't gonna go to America. Like, if there might have been one more person that said something negative, I mean, so it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Yeah, I'd say stay being a dreamer. Anything's possible. Why not iron it?
Exactly. Why not I? And thank you for joining me for this interview, Kofi. It's been amazing to chat to you again.
Yeah, bro, no problem. Anytime. We did the first one.
Yeah,
So yeah, man, no problem. Anytime.
absolutely. Anytime. I'd love to speak to you again soon, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Reese from the British basketball scene, joined by the Deep Range Deadeye, BespokeKofi, Why Not I, Kofi Josephs, KJ4. You can get at his social medias down below. But yeah, see you guys next time.
Peace.